So we have five women who shared their stories with us in trying to highlight what they have done to, to include or to try to become leaders in this inclusion process, and both in their lives and their companies. So shall we bring them all up? I think we can bring them all up. Would you like to all come up? We have Brittany Kirk, Sarah Howell, Clover Hogan, Shaina Safar, and Diana Maciera. Could you please come up? And let's recognize these women. And I have to say, thank you so much for sharing your story. Sometimes I think we're shy about showing off and trying to tell the world what we try to do every day in trying to promote inclusion. So why don't we start with Brittany Kirk? You have 60 seconds to tell us what you have done.
I think Diana wanted to say. Is that right?
They basically said.
Okay.
So why don't we start with Brittany Kirk? Are you ready to go?
Timer.
Good morning. I'm Brittany Kirk, and I'm a survivor of rape. And after my rape, I just looked for a safe place to go and heal, but I couldn't find anything, so I got worse. And so I created Sunlight Retreats for Survivors of Rape, an NGO in the United States, which incorporates the science of trauma, which is usually reserved for combat veterans. And using the science of trauma, we're able to bring together women from all different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different sexual orientations, and we had women from 17 to 74 at our last August retreat. These women are now able to reclaim their lives and get back out there. And my ask for you today is to stand up more programs, tangible programs that support rape survivors. The millions of us that are struggling with anxiety, depression, and PTSD, to help fund them and stand with survivors through Stand, Speak, Rise Up, Sunlight Retreats, and other programs that help us reclaim our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Diana Maciera, correct?
Yes, thank you. I am Diana Maciera. I actually run two companies. One is a consulting company in France, which disrupts for good. And the other one, I actually represent American Express Global Business Travel in a few countries in Western Africa. So my story is, I met this woman in a few conferences and events. She's my mother's age. She looks like my mother. She's African too. She talks like my mother. She also works and lives in Africa. And this woman was actually losing more than 60% of her income because of global strategic decisions of her main client. So I built a new service for her from A to Z. Built the different communication plans that had to take in place, the steps that had to be taken, I'm going to go over. I'm saying the timer, that's why, sorry. And actually, the hardest part was actually for her to believe that she was able to do something else and that she would do it well. And it made me realize that the starting point of personal change management is really belief and hope. So as a call for action, I would say, I think we should train our minds to think out of the box and remember that there's always opportunity, not always obstacle, but if we can remember that more than we forget, I think we'll all be fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Sarah Howell?
Thank you. I'm Sarah Howell. I work for ExxonMobil, and I'm the Marketing Communications Manager for liquefied natural gas. My colleague and I were fed up of showing up at these gas conferences where the women's event was a token activity at the end of the week, at the end of the day, at the end of a very long corridor, and often with a very pedestrian agenda. So we decided that we wanted to shake this up a bit, and we went to our male VP and told him we were going to close down our exhibition booth in the middle of the day and just invite women to a networking event here. He agreed, which was a great step for a male VP in our business, which is 80% male and 20% female. This year, we converted this into an awards program for the whole of the LNG industry and really to shine a light on women working some of the smaller organizations operating in the value chain. Here, the objective has been to create role models and to really congratulate all of those women making headway in this business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Sarah.
you. And Shaina Safer.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shaina. I'm 19 and the current Chief People Officer at Juve Consulting, a Generation Z marketing consultancy, and I'll be doing a spoken word piece. Mama said you shouldn't stay out late when the night falls. It's when monsters come out and darkness calls. How can I explain to Mama that the time of day doesn't matter? The system simply was not built for bodies like mine. Darkness exists even when the sun rises. The issues we see are a laundry list of isms and phobias, spoken in silos. Sigh. When they go low, we go high. Me, melanin-filled ballads of brown-skinned girl, laced with unrealistic expectations where I should know my place. But do you know my race? My gender, my religion, the space, how I carry the weight, and you take. Stripped away of your intersectionality, I cannot exist as a woman, as a Muslim, as a teenager, as a founder, as a human, because your ability to understand me does not exist in my imagination. It exists in your expectations. So lean in, Cheryl, but also John and Jim, and don't tokenize me or my skills, but question the inherent way you think, how you code switch and speak in between lines, whisper and snicker, sipping on glasses of wine. Set aside the politics and policing. My BS filter rings strong. And empower those communities you've historically strung along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. And finally, Clover Hogan.
Young people know what they're angry about before they know who they are. Greta Thunberg ignited a global movement of young people whose feelings of overwhelm and powerlessness had reached boiling point. For us, this is do or die, and today I invite you to listen to the voices, to the Gretas of Bangladesh, of Jakarta, of Sao Paulo. Because from young people, we have so much to learn and much to recall of our younger selves, like our moral conviction. We must act for no other reason than because we know right from wrong and wrong from right. We cannot afford to sweep our convictions under the rug. And if we seek to solve our beautiful, bright planet's dark problems, we must refuse to be ruled by fear. No one is born a leader. You learn to become one through courage and imagination. So, like the young people who have not been around long enough to let society clip the wings of their imaginations, I invite you to let your courage take flight. Thank you.
Woo, woo, woo. Thank you. One last round of applause to this magnificent women.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you.